Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We've got some very special guests on our show today, and that is Terry McKearney, president of the SDMAC Foundation, joined by Gloria McKearney. She's the treasurer. SDMAC, as our listeners know, near and dear to the hearts of the Spotlight on the Community Show. And Terry and Gloria, so good to see you two.
It's good to see you again, Drew. Great to be here.
Yeah, full disclosure, Gloria and I have known each other, we won't say how many years, but it's been a while. When Gloria worked for San Diego Unified and then worked down in South Bay as well as one of our top educators and principals. And it's so good to see you and see you supporting the SDMAC Foundation. Yeah, and joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers Inc. Who's doing a great job of supporting me, actually boosted me up. I'll just say that. And Kristen, you've been enjoying this gig, have you not?
I really have. I've enjoyed boosting you. I really, really enjoy just learning about all the great things that community members are doing. I was telling Drew that I just feel energized after one of these shows. So thank you all I can't wait to hear from you and hear about all the good work that you're doing.
Good. And you have a question right out of the gate for Terry?
Yeah, I thought that we could just begin by getting the mission of the SDMAC Foundation.
So the SDMAC, by the way, stands for San Diego Military Advisory Council, which is an organization that was formed almost 20 years ago now to help the local community understand the importance of the military in the San Diego region relative to the economy and relative to just the life of the community. And SDMAC's mission has been to represent issues in the public square, if you will, relative to their importance to the military and represent those issues that are important to the military that need to be brought into public discussion and need to be represented to the public. Now, the foundation was formed by SDMAC leadership in 2015. And the foundation was built out of a realization that along with this larger mission of dealing with public policy and those broader issues of military presence and military contribution to the local economy, what could we also do to help individual military members and their families, to help integrate them and keep them in the San Diego region and the San Diego economy? So the mission of the foundation is to, as a 501c3, as an education organization, to help support the transition of military veterans that are leaving the military here in San Diego and want to stay in the San Diego region. And so we do scholarships and we do grants to military students after they leave the military to get the education they want or the certification they want to take jobs in the San Diego region and stay here. And one of the issues that underpins our efforts is the realization that San Diego, particularly, is a very high-cost area.
Yes, it is.
So our young sailors and Marines particularly get out of the military here in San Diego, and their first thought is, well, I'm entering civilian life, and I'm going to do it somewhere else because it's too expensive to stay in the San Diego region. So our efforts are directed toward them getting the education, the certification they need to take jobs in San Diego. And that's who our target audience is. The military members and their families that are getting out of the military and want to stay in San Diego just need a little bit of help in doing that.
Right. So, Terry, I want to thank you for your service. Talk a little bit about your work in the military.
Well, I am a retired naval officer.
You are.
Spent most of my time here in the San Diego area, homeported here in San Diego, or stationed in San Diego out of my 20-year career. And then when I retired from the Navy in 1993, Gloria and I sat down and talked about where we wanted to retire. And again, people don't retire from the military for the most part. They leave the military maybe as a retiree, maybe as a one or two term member. but then they get another job. And so our decision was, well, where do we go? And we had roots in the D.C. area, and we had our experience here. And we elected to stay here in San Diego. So spent 20 years pretty much all in San Diego. We did have a couple of tours in Monterey and in Okinawa and Long Beach and so forth. But the majority of our career was spent here in San Diego, and that's what led us to stay here when my military career was over.
Well, thank you very much for your service. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, and we're broadcasting from the Mission Fed studios here in Scripps Ranch, and Mission Fed's been doing just wonderful things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We're chatting with our friends from the SDMAC Foundation, Terry McKearney, President, and Gloria McKearney, Treasurer, joined by my wonderful co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. As you know, Terry, I've been working with SDMAC for many, many years.
Indeed, you have.
And have, done a radio shows with then the inimitable, still the inimitable Larry Blumberg. I guess he's still inimitable. The first Executive Director of SDMAC, and then over to Randy Bogle, and then now currently Admiral Balmert, Mark Balmert, just a pearl of a guy, to say the least, and working with all those folks, and then just thrilled when you took over the SDMAC Foundation as well. And it was great to see you and Gloria at all the SDMAC breakfasts. They are quite an honor to be there. And you, Kristen, listen, I know you're not an early morning person, but it is something.
I do like breakfast.
Yeah, well, you should see the folks they have at the podium. Sec Nav, gentlemen, commanding generals of MEF and everything in between on this thing. And it's just an absolutely wonderful opportunity to see what's going on. And as Terry mentioned, SDMAC is just a great collaborator, bringing in the military and the civilian community on this. But Gloria, you have a pretty cool event coming up. SDMAC has a foundation as a golf tournament, correct?
Which is $130 per player or $480 per foursome, includes a golf cart, lunch, prizes, 18 holes, and a lot of fun. So we're encouraging everyone to support this event, because this is how we fundraise to be able to provide scholarships for our transitioning military.
Great, and that's going to be October 30th and so forth. How are the foursomes shaping up, Terry?
Well, we're doing pretty well. We are looking. We need, of course, to make a minimum, and we're about halfway there, a little over halfway there with that minimum, with a couple of weeks to go.
Good.
So we're doing well on that. And the other thing we're interested in this particular event is sponsorships. And so we have whole sponsorships, and we keep those pretty reasonably, about $350. And the value of those, of course, is companies who may not be able to provide a foursome or have people play can at least get their names out there. And we have a couple of very important, very special sponsors. And the one I would cite immediately is Cal State San Marcos, who is one of our recipients of our scholarships as well. And they'll be out there on the golf course, and that'll give them an opportunity to talk about the terrific programs out at Cal State San Marcos. And so the golf tournament not only provides an opportunity for people to have fun and go out and play golf, those who enjoy that game, but also provides us an opportunity for the foundation and our partners to tell their story to a broader audience, and that's very important.
Yeah, it's funny. Jane Schlossberg, my ex-wife, and I work very close together at Classroom of the Future Foundation. She was just at a Cal State San Marcos presentation by President Newfield. Did you go to that one?
I don't believe I was at that. Maybe not at that presentation, but we've worked with President Newfield very, very closely, and I sit on their Veterans Advisory Board. They're doing terrific things out there at Cal State San Marcos. One, just an education for the area in general and the growth in North County, but very specifically for our veterans. They have the highest percentage of veterans in their student body of any of the Cal State or the UC system. And they are particularly interested in recruiting veterans. And again, with our mission of trying to keep veterans in the San Diego area and fitting into jobs that are important in the San Diego area, what Cal State San Marcos is doing and helping that mission, and at the same time helping grow the economy of North County is just a very exciting thing.
Yeah, Jan was saying that she certainly spent a lot of time at her talk. It was sort of a state of the Cal State San Marcos, chat a couple of days ago. She mentioned the military, and I mentioned to her I've had the president on the show here, and that's one of the first things out of her mouth. Of course, they come to SDMAC, occasionally on that aspect. We come back from break. I want to talk more about the golf tournament of SDMAC Foundation and other events that you have that are tied to the San Diego Military Advisory Council, the Annual Achievement Awards, and so forth, and other things as well. I know Kristen has some questions for you, and then save some time to what our listeners can do to support your efforts. Obviously, sign up for the golf tournament, but there are other things that they can do to support the great things you're doing. When we return with Terry McKearney and Gloria McKearney, President and Treasurer of the SDMAC Foundation. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, Kristen Vogel. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union and Mission Fed, doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years. We are chatting with our good friends from the SDMAC Foundation, Terry McKearney, the president, and Gloria McKearney, treasurer, joined by my co-host, the phenomenal. She makes me come up with these different adjectives for her, and there's a whole laundry list.
I
of
mean,
these
it's
things.
really just more fun. So
Exactly right. And if I come up with the same one in 2 weeks in a row, I get my pay gets docked.
it's true.
Exactly, and that's Kristen Vogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers Inc. In Liberty Station. You're going to be celebrating your 20th year next year, right?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to talk to some other folks at SDMAC, I believe last week or the week before, and
We did.
we have a similar 20th anniversary date. So
Exactly.
if there's some way to collaborate. We are in Liberty Station, so we are in a military focused place, so it wouldn't be a bad collaboration to have.
Right, and what she was referring to, Terry, and maybe you want to address a little bit about this, was Assembly Bill 46, and it was talking about the taxation on the retirees in California at 100%, when other states don't have any taxation on the retirees from the military.
Yeah, right now California is the only state that does not provide at least some exemption of retired military pay and the calculation of state income tax. So the bill you mentioned, AB 46, is it frankly is stalled right now.
That's right.
Now I was earlier today I was in a meeting of our legislative committee, and we did have some representation from state leadership there. And apparently both the Senate, the pro tem president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House are in agreement with this bill, but they haven't been able to work it all the way through committees. So it's going to be stalled for another legislative session. And we think it's very important. And the one point I want to make about the bill, and this came up in discussion this morning, and I think it's very important to realize, don't consider that exempting military retired pay is a benefit that's being given as a thank you to the retirees that are staying in San Diego. Instead, think of it as an investment, because what's happening is the cost of living in San Diego and California in general, and the fact that the retired pay is taxed, is really driving military retirees out of California at a really high rate. And what we really want to do is we want to keep them here. Retirees don't just retire when they leave the military. They get another job. They're at the height of their learning power, and they go into to high-level industries that are producing and industry contributing to the California economy. And they're the kind of employees we want to keep here. And when we motivate them to go someplace else, generally places in the southeast that don't tax military retired pay, we're driving them out of our economy. So this bill is very important to do that, to address that, I guess I should say, and keep these retirees here in California and contributing to our local economy. And we do have studies, we do have the bar charts and all that other stuff that will show that by keeping these people here, they'll actually see an increase in revenue into the state coffers that goes beyond what their retirement pay would have been.
Well, we talked about this, as Kristen mentioned, several weeks ago with Admiral Ballmer, the CEO of SDMAC, and Terry Kraft, the new CEO of the USS Midway Museum, and then the CFO here for Mission Fed Credit Union. Actually, Larry Blumberg and I started talking about this thing, a long time ago, as did Randy Bogle, and who was the predecessor for Mark Ballmer. It's basically a no-brainer. I know Lynn Reeser, one of the international economists out of Point Loma at Nazarene University, did a major study, as you were are chatting about, Terry, and showed here are the metrics about it, okay? That, it won't take too long for you to sit there and recoup those losses, state coffers, when you retain those folks now making $150,000 a year, paying taxes in their jobs they'll be doing for the next 20 years, because that's where they retired at age 40. They got 20 more years to go, whatever the case may be. It really is a no-brainer, just if nothing else. It just certainly supports the economy of California. Hopefully somewhere down the road that'll make some sense to the legislatures. I'm pretty sure all 5 of our representatives, I know in Congress, support that, and hopefully all of our state folks down here in San Diego. Getting back to the SDMAC Foundation, talk about other things you're involved in. Certainly got the golf tournament coming up on October the 30th, but what other things are you working on with SDMAC?
So let me talk to the what we do with the funds that we raise. Yeah. We have scholarship arrangements with, obviously, Cal State San Marcos, who I've discussed. We also provide scholarship money to San Diego State, and we've worked out we have a program in the works where we'll be supporting students at USD as well. And we've also worked with Miramar College in putting a program together that will be used to support students going into the trades that are getting their certification at Miramar College. So that's the broad spectrum of what we do with the funds we raise. Cal State San Marcos, San Diego State, very, very glad to have our support. And just some of the students that we wind up supporting, and the importance of their support that we give through the foundation is just gratifying and tremendous to hear and to understand. So that's what we do with the money we raise. Now, in terms of raising money, we do a spring and fall campaign. The fall campaign is a Giving Tuesday campaign. Our spring campaign is done through outreach to a tremendous number of supporters who have supported us over the years. The other thing we do that's a very important community fundraiser, and we just completed, every year SDMAC provides awards to military members and to nonprofits that support the military in San Diego. And in doing that, we have a dinner celebration. As part of that dinner celebration, the foundation runs an auction that is basically our large fundraiser for the summer months. We just completed that. It was a terrific event. We held it at the Miramar Club. And what's important about the event, one, it does provide us a good deal of the income that we need to fund these scholarships. But it was also a tremendous community event because combining it with the SDMAC Awards, we got a good cross-section of political leadership here in town, good cross-section of military folks and a good cross-section of the business community in town that is supported by the military. So it was a wonderful opportunity for us to not only raise some funds, but also to tell the SDMAC story and the foundation story.
That's great. We're chatting with Terry McKearney. He's the president of the SDMAC Foundation, joined by Treasurer Gloria McKearney. I'm Drew Schlosberg, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. So, my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. Kristen, you have another question for Terry or Gloria?
I always have questions.
You do?
I do. Can you think of any specific stories of scholarship recipients that maybe you're most proud of?
I can think of two real quickly, and they're kind of combined. It was one student out at San Diego State and another student out at Cal State San Marcos. And I do want to point out that we as the foundation do not pick these students. We rely on the colleges to tell us what military students they have that are in the most need. So they pick these two students. The one out of San Diego State, he completed his degree, and he was accepted into the dental program at UCLA, where he is going to become a Navy or an Air Force dentist.
Oh, wow.
In a very similar way, we have this young man out at Cal State San Marcos who completed his degree, and he's been accepted into medical school to become a Navy or Air Force doctor. So these are the kind of students that we are supporting. And some of the other students that we have supported have been able to, through our help, do things like bring their families here to San Diego and keep their families here to get married here in San Diego. And again, that fulfills our mission of supporting students that want to stay in the San Diego region and contribute to the economy, as opposed to just getting their degree and then taking that degree somewhere else and contributing to somebody else's economy.
Right.
Yeah, great. Gloria, let's shout out that golf tournament again that's coming up on the 30th. What about it? Some details.
Right. Again, it's on October 30th. It's going to be a shotgun start at 9 a.m. at Oaks North Golf Course in Rancho Bernardo. The registration includes the golf cart, lunch, prizes, 18 holes, lots of fun, and we hope everyone can join us and help us support the scholarship.
Very good. Will there be like auction items also there? Their dinner that follows?
It will be a lunch. It's going to be done over lunchtime, not a dinner.
Gotcha.
And we will have some prizes and awards. Since we just finished our big auction, we won't be doing an auction in conjunction with this, but we will have some prizes and just those fun things that go into a golf tournament. And again, it's important for us because it helps get the word out about the foundation.
Exactly. Is Larry Blumberg going to be golfing in the tournament, and are you giving him 3 strokes a hole?
I'll let his foursome decide that. He has in the past participated, and I'm counting on him again, at least being there too.
Exactly.
Larry's a terrific guy, and I will give him a plug. He's running the Fleet Week organization.
No, he runs everything. Listen, the guy has really stepped up to the plate. He was president of the Holiday Bowl. That's why I got involved. Him and Pete Headley a billion years ago in that aspect of it when I was working for the Union Tribune. And the golf tournament's a great event, and SDMAC and the foundation, what you guys are doing. We can't support you folks enough on that. For those who cannot go to the golf tournament but need to support the foundation, what's the best website to get a hold of you?
Well, you can Google, but it's sdmac.org/foundation. And if you go to that page, you'll see some of the stories about what we're doing. You'll also be able to donate directly to the foundation via that website. You'll also have a link to the golf tournament, and you can sign up online for the golf tournament. So you can do it all in one fell swoop with a couple of clicks and get signed up right there. So sdmac.org/foundation, or just Google SDMAC Foundation. You'll go right to it.
Well, Terry, thank you for your great service in the military and what you're doing now with the SDMAC Foundation. Gloria, thanks for being a long-time friend and colleague of mine for many years. You look terrific, and you got that just great, vibrant smile as you've had for the many years I've known you. And thanks for your great outreach and supporting the foundation as well. And Kristen, what do you think?
Are you trying to get me to commit to another event? Is this the part where you said, let's do that all morning? Drew is getting me committed to various things.
No, it is a great event. But I mean, Kristen, as you had said, you learn so much more about different organizations you may not have been associated with.
No, something that I've been learning too about SDMAC is something that we're experiencing in arts and culture is that so many people are leaving San Diego because of costs. So I'm in favor of any organization that's trying to keep and retain talent here. So I think that that's so powerful that you all are supporting that endeavor.
Yeah, without question.
We are, and there's one other matter that I think I should address today because when we're talking that SDMAC and the foundation is involved with, and we recognize that we're on the verge of a government shutdown.
Right.
And this particular shutdown will not authorize military pay. So not to get too deeply into the details, but the first military pay period will be made because of the way it's timed at the end of the month. But starting with the mid pay, military people will not be getting their pay, at least as it stands now. So SDMAC has gathered several nonprofits, including our foundation, the Armed Services Y, Navy Relief, and the STEP organization,
right.
And we're preparing in case we do have to provide some support to the military folks. Again, back to the issue of the high cost of living here in San Diego. Take a look at particularly our young enlisted families. They live paycheck to paycheck, and this failure to pass a continuing resolution could really be devastating. So if folks are interested in supporting those organizations, we can take donations for money that can provide cards for the family. Take donations of things like diapers and food and so forth that we may need to provide to those families should this government shutdown happen.
No, that sounds terrific, and we hope they've resolved this thing, but they're at the bewitching hour as we speak. But we've seen other things at the last minute be resolved, and we're going to be hopeful this thing will be as well. Terry McKearney and Gloria McKearney, thank you for all you do for this community, especially with the SDMAC Foundation. And we'll look forward to getting a recap of how successful the golf tournament was when we'll try to catch you up before the end of the year to chat about other things you have, maybe a nice little fundraising push as well. How's that sound?
Well, we will be doing Giving Tuesday, so we certainly would like any of your listeners to help us out. And again, sdmac.org/foundation, and you can sign up right there to help us.
That sounds very, very good. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast on our 17th year. We hope you enjoyed the program.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.